Nick is
Per
not.
use. Per use.
It's typical at this point. He just doesn't love us. Apparently, Mikey's playing the show and getting his cheeks worked.
No, I'm not. I'm just upset. Just leave me be, okay?
I see. So to first address the now week 12 top 25 rankings, we have some shake up in the top 10 and the top 25. As now Vanderbilt, Alabama, and Utah have dropped out of the top 25. Troy, Oregon, and UC Santa Barbara have come into it. Looking now from top to bottom, number one, we got Tennessee working their
Mm-hmm.
way through a tough SEC schedule. Kind of a surprise to see them at the top. I'm not going to lie to you. Number two is Clemson. Number three, Texas A&M, so falling down 2 spots. Number four, University of Kentucky. Number five, Arkansas. Six, ECU. Seven, Oregon State. Eight, Florida State. Nine, Duke. 10, Virginia. 11, North Carolina. 12, Wake Forest. 13, South Carolina. 14, Mississippi State. 15, Georgia. 16, UC Irvine. 17, Arizona. 18, Oklahoma. 19, Oklahoma State. 20, Illinois State. 21, Troy. 22, the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana. 23, NC State. 24, Oregon. 25, UC Santa Barbara. So what we expect is what we not expected.
I don't think. I mean, Clemson's been decent all year, but top three is kind of crazy. But I mean, in Kentucky took the series against Arkansas.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense for them to kind of jump that spot. Um, 15 for Georgia, though. They're rapidly jumping up there. Where they get welcomed in like 2 weeks ago into the top
Yeah, and
25.
ECU is probably too high.
We always say that every single year, ECU gets a host site and they either get knocked out in the regionals or super regionals. I feel like it's just because they kind of run their conference. I mean, that's what you have to do. The S6 seems reasonably high. But yeah, otherwise it's an even mix between ACC and SEC, it seems like.
That's usually how it goes. Though.
Sprinkle in some Pac 12.
No Big Ten.
No Big Ten, yeah. I mean, to be fair, though, it seems like the Big Ten teams this year, it looks like they're good against each other, but then like they'll lose shocking games. So
Mm-hmm.
it just kind of knocks them out. Like they just knock themselves out. But other than that, I mean, gonna Illinois State kind of jumping in there a little bit. It's
They've
kind of
been in
surprising.
there.
But
You
like
mean
moving up into the 20 spot.
in it Indiana State?
Oh, it is. The Sycamores?
Yikes, that's a bad look for you.
E.
Probably,
It's been a long day, been a long
probably get your
week.
life together.
No, I will never let that happen. I live in chaos. But yeah, other than that, I mean, still some teams moving around up there. We're about 2 weeks out from conference play,
I
like
give you a week and a
conference
half.
tournament play,
I think it's
something
a week
like
and a half.
that. I'm gonna lose my mind if the ACC keeps up their stupid pool stuff.
They will because it's elite.
God, I hate it so much.
Just gotta
Anyways,
lock in
no, I
just one
shouldn't have
time.
to. Shouldn't have
Just
to.
one, just one time.
Nobody else does it that way, and it's for a good reason.
Everybody does it that way.
Nope.
Mm-hmm. Hence why Nick's not here.
Nope.
He gets first round bye. Being an asshole.
Unbelievable.
I want to tell you that
He's
shit.
had multiple bye weeks now. That's crazy.
Yeah, number one team in the nation.
Oh, that's tough. Um, so I do have my big pimpin' player of the week.
Is it me?
No, actually. It was close. Um, but we have Nolan Schubert from Oklahoma State. He set a school record in a single game. He was 5 for 5 with 4 home runs, 7 RBIs, and a double in that game. So you should not have pitched to that dude, but he was hitting it where it was at. So setting the school record for 4 home runs in a single game deserves that recognition. And the Pokes coming in right behind their in-state rival Oklahoma in that 19 spot. Is that the only? Are they the highest Big 12 team right now?
There's no
That's
TCU
it.
or anybody in there
That's it.
for real.
Because it's SEC, ACC, SEC, SEC, SEC. What are they? The American for
So
ECU?
pretty sure they're Sun Belt. Pretty sure they're the same division as
No,
Old Dominion, aren't they?
no. Pretty sure they're American.
Mm,
Like, don't they play like UCF? Uh, um, Pac-12, ACC, 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 SEC, SEC, SEC. What's UC Irvine in? Mountain West?
probably. Some non-name conference.
No. Pac-12. Oh, and then Big 12 Oklahoma, Big 12 Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State. Yeah,
Sun Belt is Troy. Troy's in the Sun Belt.
you're in the Sun Belt.
All right. Well, don't know what to tell you there, bud.
I know that.
A
I don't.
quick runner up though from I believe it was midweek. Um you had UNL, so Nebraska's Jackson Brockett. He
The
struck
perfect.
out 12
Was
batters
perfect
in
or
the
no? No.
first individual no-hitter for the Huskers since 1954 because he walked a few people.
Well, be better, I guess. I don't know what
I
to tell
mean,
you there.
with the snippet that we saw, top of the 9, 2 outs, there's a runner on first. So whether it was walk or what have you,
A bunch of bullshit, maybe.
it is kind of surprising too to see Tennessee though as the number one after getting upset midweek by Lipscomb.
Yeah, but if you think about it, nobody puts a lot of weight into those midweek games.
I feel like the smaller teams do, but
Well,
yeah,
yeah, but
I agree
whoever
with that. Where it's
decides a
like,
ranking does nothing.
here's the thing though, that's going to be weird is when conference and tournament play come around. I think that like let's look at the team. I think like Arkansas and Wake Forest, they'll both be teams that can really compete in those regionals then when they get to them, if they get to them, obviously if they keep their rankings and all that kind of stuff. Um, I think that they would do well just because of their starting pitching.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of these teams, they're capitalizing on runs and stuff like that. Like their pitching is decent. Obviously, it's enough to keep the runs down to a minimum. I mean, you look at though if some pitching gets on and those bats dry up, like especially Kentucky, the way that they play really really aggressive baseball is if somebody can get them off balance, they'll be able to beat them in that regional or super regional wherever you see them. With their aggressive base running and all that kind of stuff. If a team is able to stay relaxed and really keep them to a minimum, that's going to be the way to take care of them. Same with Texas A&M's bats.
Yeah, I mean, the conference tournaments, I feel like there shouldn't be, well, maybe there should be a lot of weight put into those, but I don't know.
I'm just saying as far as like regional play, because you think about it, the team, you have to win 3 games,
The game don't matter till it matters, you know?
right? So that's what I'm thinking is as far as like pitching is concerned. That was the biggest thing with LSU. They had a 1-2 punch that was lights out, but then their bullpen all of a sudden came around, didn't allow a run through 13 innings. And it was the fact that also with those two pitchers that they had, they could go deep into games too, pitch almost complete games. So that really
Yeah.
leaves your options open.
LSU has been doo-doo dog cheeks this year, but they can still come. They can still make it.
To be fair, they lost the number. To be fair, number 1 and number 2 picks.
Yeah,
Your number 1 hitter, a guy who got on base half the time, and then your pitcher who won you a majority of your games. You lose those two guys, and especially losing Dylan Cruz, because you look at the RBI for Tommy White this year, drastically less than it was last year. Because you look at then his numbers, Tommy was like 417 or in the 400 range when Dylan Cruz was on base or even in scoring position. And Dylan Cruz was getting on of a clip of about 500.
yeah,
So looking at that, then it's okay. Now I'm losing my leadoff batter, who was our majority of our runs came from him, and the majority of not letting up runs was in Paul Skeens.
yeah.
So I mean, you lose two big role players, and I feel like Trey Morgan's still young, and Tommy White. I mean, he's a draft eligible junior now.
Yeah, but like two dudes don't make up your whole team.
That's what I'm saying. But you go from really, I mean, really relying heavy on those guys to then not having them. It is a drastic difference. So
Yeah, but they can still make it. They just
they
can win the conference tournament.
they could go on a run there. Yes, feel like at this point that's the only way they can do it. I don't think they're sniffing the top 25 near enough to be able to do that. However, obviously going through the SEC, that is a gauntlet within itself.
Correct.
So it always could happen. I mean, we could have
Who
another
did that last year?
won their conference and then went
Was
on.
doo-doo dog cheeks and then won their conference. It was some smaller conference. I can't think of who they were. They played Oregon. They beat Oregon.
Tulane,
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Imagine.
Because Oral Roberts played Tulane or played Oregon in the Supers. But Tulane, I think, had a losing record. And then they won the within
I have no idea.
I don't know. They won one of those conferences. I think it was 2 years ago. TCU won the conference. It was, I think, the first or second year of Sarloos. And they won the Big 12. And they wouldn't have made it into the regional if they hadn't. So, I mean, it can always happen.
It'd be super cool to see someone do it.
Right. I mean, you just got to get hot at the right time. I mean, Oral Roberts, looking at them last year, they won, wasn't it like 20 consecutive games or something like that? It was something ridiculous.
Correct.
But they went on that win streak to finish out the season, won the summit, and then just came out in the regionals and super regionals and played elite defense and did enough to move runners around and make it to Omaha. So
Elite stuff.
absolutely,
Yeah,
dude. That regional, watching that super regional between them and Oregon was electric. Like taking it to that game 3, it literally coming down to the last few plays every single game. It's crazy.
I know we're gonna have to have Nick love us for a week so we can get our predictions as to who's gonna.
That's true. We got to look back at who we picked at the beginning of the year. I feel like a lot of ours are still in play. A
I
lot of
went
our picks are
perfect.
still
I'm
in play.
going perfect. I already know Old Dominion's gonna.
They're gonna
do
make a
this.
run.
Yeah, and win the whole damn thing. Just wait.
We'll never lose again.
Probably.
All right.
Maybe.
So
I don't know.
looking then ahead to There it is. Looking ahead to next week.
You're next week.
As conference play kind of starts to get near the end and you get your kind of rankings finished up, we do have a great matchup starting on Thursday. We got South Carolina and Georgia starting a weekend series. They got Cincinnati and BYU playing. So, I mean, another conference matchup. Then we got Arizona and Utah, Indiana State and Evansville. So, Indiana State, if they look to sweep the series there, they'll cement themselves, I feel like, in the top 25. Clemson, Wake Forest will be another good one to watch. If Wake Forest can take some games away from Clemson, they'll knock them down, and Wake Forest will come up a little bit. Florida State and Pitt, Duke, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, I haven't heard much from. They're 28-17, but I feel like was it Drew Barres? Correct? Was the big
Freshman?
hitter that they had? I haven't heard much from him since he started off with that super hot start to begin the season.
The
But
freshman?
it might also be, I've heard also the talk about Charlie Congdon. Like that's been the forefront of how this dude started as a walk-on. Incredible story if you haven't looked at it. Was a walk-on, worked his way through, ended up at Georgia, and just became one of the best hitters that they've had in their lineup. But I feel like that's taken the forefront of college baseball headlines and storylines. Looking then at some other matchups we got this week, got North Carolina and Louisville. Louisville is 29-18, so they're knocking right outside of the top 25. I feel like if they can take a few, either win the series or sweep North Carolina, definitely we'll see the top 25 after that. Texas UCF. I mean, nobody cares about Texas. All in favor of horns down, say aye.
Me.
Or don't
Everybody.
say anything.
The entire country of America.
Nick didn't say anything, so I mean,
correct.
He's just a Texas hater, dude. I mean, I support that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, we hate them.
Truth. Kentucky and Florida. Florida also dropping out of the top 25, like I mentioned earlier. 25-23. Not a great look this year, especially having Jack Caglione, who was a big headline, still I believe in top 10 in home runs, all that kind of stuff. However, have not heard much about him on the mound. I think maybe his struggles have continued. Louisiana's playing Georgia Southern. Tennessee playing Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt just also falling out of the top 25, looking at a chance to get back in. They're at 32-16. NC State, Virginia. Texas Tech, Oklahoma State. Troy and Texas State. Texas State seems to play spoiler pretty often, so we could see if they could do that again.
That'd be legit.
Nebraska also sniffing just outside. They're 30-16, sniffing just outside the top 25 as well. They'll play Indiana this weekend. Hoping to take some games from them. LSU will play Alabama. LSU is actually 31-18. They're not looking awful.
Yeah, but aren't they trash in the conference play?
In the actual conference play, they're very low. So it's more so the shiny record that you see kind of on the outside is not terrible. They're out playing Alabama, who is 29-18. Also, them just falling out of the top 25. I feel like whoever takes that series could have a honest shot at going back up into it. Mississippi State and Arkansas, another good top 15 matchup. East Carolina will play Tulane. Baylor and Oklahoma. Texas A&M and Ole Miss. Ole Miss barely above 500 this season. UC Irvine, Long Beach State, Santa Barbara and Bakersfield, Oregon State, UCLA, and rounded off Oregon and Washington. Oregon looking to sweep the series against Washington. Washington's sitting at 18-23-1. So that is a look at your weekend series. Then you got the Patriot League semifinal series starting on Saturday. So that is actually the first conference tournament starting up. Holy Cross will play Navy and Bucknell will play Army.
Mm.
Could we have an Army-Navy championship?
Mm. No.
Heck yeah. I'm rooting for it.
No.
And guess who wins that game? America.
Absolutely.
So again, that is a look at your weekend series, and we'll be swiftly getting into the conference tournament, and then it's going to be right around the corner to CWS time.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited for that.
What he said.
I'm very excited. Anyways, I believe that's all we got for the people. Got anything else you want to say to the people?
No.
No. I respect it.
I got nothing.
Short, sweet, to the point.
No sponsorships, no nothing.
Dang it. Well, we do have some sponsorships to shout out. We want to shout out our partner, Cronio Media, for putting us all out on all podcasting platforms. Thank you for all the stuff that they do for us. It's amazing. You can find us out on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast from. Just search up No Place Like Homaha. We be out there. Please like, subscribe, share with friends, family, people you don't like. If you don't like listening to us, we can let them know how much we dislike them too. We also got some sponsorships as well. We got Dubby and we got Shank It Golf. You can use code Cronio Media, all one word, at checkout, and you will get 10 to 15% off of your order. And Dubby, fantastic little pre-workout brand. And Shank It Golf got some fantastic apparel since golfing is now back in season. It's been back in season for a little bit, but now it's starting to reach the Midwest. Also, shout out Pib. Pib is arguably sometimes better than Dr. Pepper.
That's factual. I can get behind that.
It's only a sometimes thing, though. Not all the time.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
We'll catch you guys next week. And then eventually we'll start working into the big board. Bring that back out. All that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Catch you later.